Computer. Welcome and hello. We're glad you could join us for this week's recording of the Rotary E-Club of Silicon Valley. Each week we connect with and hear from fascinating and inspirational speakers, often with a message focused on our interests in innovation, entrepreneurship, and education. As a Rotary Club, we look for ways these programs might foster new approaches to improving communities near and far. We're glad you've joined us and hope you'll enjoy how we are exploring the ways technology can serve the business of service to others. So this week, we're joined by Anna Smith, the Executive Director of the Quinan St project. And Anna holds a BFA in musical theater from the College of Santa Fe and additional training at the Pacific Conservatory of the Performing Arts. Most recently, she's obtained her master's degree in equity and social justice in education from San Francisco State University. And we're really excited to hear her program today about her project. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you. Yes, so my name is Anna Smith, and I'm the founding executive director of the Quinan St project. QSP is an arts organization fighting to bring the arts into the public elementary and middle schools in the West Contra Costa Unified School District. If you're not familiar with the West Contra Costa Unified School District, it's in the East Bay and include towns as far north as Hercules, which is a suburb, all the way down to El Cerrito, which is almost next to Berkeley. So our most famous city is Richmond. So that's kind of the heart of our school district. And I'm going to go ahead and get us into our presentation here. And here we go. So that is a classroom that I worked with at Collins Elementary in Pinole.
I'm sorry, I don't see you.
Oh,
I
no.
don't see your screen, so.
Let me see. Oh, wait. Screen sharing has failed to start. Please try again. Oh, no. It worked a second ago, didn't it? Okay, let's try this again. How about that?
Yes.
Yay, great.
Thank you.
So the classroom that you're seeing right now is at Collins Elementary in Pinole, California. This was taken a few years ago. Those kids are actually in middle school now, so I don't know what they're up to, but they're some of the sweetest kids I ever worked with. So let's move forward. So the first thing to tell you all about the Quinan St project is that Quinan St is a real place. I'm actually sitting on it right now. I can see it out my window. I'm actually looking at the house that I grew up in. And I am sitting in my office, which is on actual Quinan St. Quinan St is a 1 block long street in Pinole, California. And my family has lived on this street since approximately 1912. So we have very deep roots in this community and very deep roots on this actual street. The young lady in the photo that you're looking at right now is named Leah. She lived next door to us. Her family still lives next door to us. For many, many years since she was a little tiny baby. And she would sing out her window every day. She would sing to our neighbors. She would sing to us. She wouldn't stop singing. This photo was taken, I believe, when she was in 5th grade. But she lived next door to us all her whole life. And when she was in 3rd grade, my career was taking me towards education. I had just graduated with my bachelor's degree in musical theater, and I was teaching musical theater classes in Lafayette, San Francisco, a few different other places with California Shakespeare Theater. And there wasn't any high-level training available to children and youths and teens other than our local playhouse in Pinole or in our West Contra Costa area. And so my family and I thought it might be a good idea if I started volunteering in the local schools. So because of Leah and because of Quinan St, I began using my skills in our local schools. And because of that, I went to graduate school and got better at teaching and better at writing curriculum and developed the Quinan St project. So that is about Quinan St. Any questions so far about Quinan St? You guys are probably going to just listen for a bit, huh? All right, so next slide is why I started doing this. Arts education builds confidence. So over the last 8 years, the Quinan St Project has expanded programming to several different schools. I believe we're in 5 schools this year, and we're serving approximately 4,000 kids every year now. So it started with just Leah's classroom over at Collins Elementary. We are at Murphy Elementary in almost 15 classrooms. We are at Harding Elementary in about 20 classrooms, Fairmont Elementary in about 20 classrooms, Dijon Middle School in Richmond in 2 English classrooms in 7th grade and 8th grade. So that's another, several hundred kids who are receiving arts education. We are adding Bayview Elementary and San Pablo this year, and I just had a meeting this morning with Chavez Elementary in Richmond, and we are also at Downer Elementary in San Pablo, just in 2nd grade. So the organization is building. More and more children are getting access to arts education, and according to our data, every year that our students participate in the program, the stronger they get in their vocabulary, the stronger they get in being able to identify certain theatrical techniques that we've been working with them, the cleverer they get with their ideas, the more innovative and more interesting they get with how they engage with the program. So for example, some kids, if you're having Quinan St Project 3 years in a row, you'll see kind of the same lessons every year, but by the time children get to 3rd grade, they start to engage in the games a little bit differently. They start to ask different questions. They start to notice different things in the curriculum. And they're always working on different stories every year. So they're always getting something different about how to bring a story to life and how to use their body, voice, and imagination to bring a character to life and what that character's emotions and feelings are and how that relates to their emotions and feelings. We've also had, over the years, a lot of children's teachers and speech therapists tell us that the program has helped students overcome stutters. Students have spoken up in class when they're typically silent. The program has helped at Dijon Middle School in particular, which is a very high need school. We were told by the English instructor that we worked with last year that one of her students actually raised his grade because of the program being in his classroom, because he was able to participate in his lessons in a way that he never got to before, and actually helped improve his grade because of the work we were doing in his classroom. And just the idea that we are able to provide yet another caring adult into some of our higher needs schools in the area is very impactful and very important to the confidence and the safety and the comfort of most of the children that we work with. Okay. Arts education is vital for every child. The arts are often treated as an extracurricular or something that is not vital to your education, but children enjoy being creative because they have more access to parts of their brain that we lose by the time we even get to middle school. If you ask a grown-up how many things you can do with a paperclip, they'll give you maybe 3 things that you can do with a paperclip. If you ask a kindergartner how many things you can do with a paperclip, the kindergartner will start asking questions like, how big is the paperclip? Can the paperclip be made of rubber? Can the paperclip unfold into the sky? Can the paperclip be made of lead? Can it be really heavy? They will start using their critical thinking skills that, even though we think we foster in academia, we actually sometimes can discourage in our youth by preventing them from being creative. So creative outlet in the school day is wildly vital for our young people. And because of the Quinan St Project, we are one of the only organizations serving the West Contra Costa Unified School District to directly into the classrooms and offering a pay-what-you-can-pay structure so that schools have access to the program, not just saying it's $10,000, take it or leave it, goodbye. We make sure that schools are able to have the program if they want it, and that every child that wants to have access to arts education gets it. And arts education then tends to foster arts appreciators, right? Not every student that we work with will go into the arts, and that's great. That's good. That's fine. We want to have more creative doctors. We want to have more creative lawyers. We want to have more creative politicians in the world. We want to have more creative teachers. We want to have people who are able to work together. And that's what the Quinan St Project is about. And we want people to walk away appreciating the arts and knowing that they are welcome in the arts. We want the young people that we work with to walk away knowing that they have every right to buy a ticket to see a play or an art exhibit or anything that they wish to be a part of. They're welcome there, whether they had access to it on a larger scale or not. And you'll see baby Anna. Children exposed to the arts will continue to participate in the arts. By exposing children to arts education, you awaken certain parts of their brain that they didn't know they had access to. We've had so many parents and so many teachers say that kids in their classroom or their children have expanded their linguistic skills, that they are, writing plays for the first time, that they're reading more voraciously, that there's all kinds of things that an arts education can do for children that makes them more well-rounded individuals and can make them more confident and make them feel more welcome and included in their own education and in their own community. And that is the basis of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening to me and to what the Quinan St Project does and what I believe. And I am happy to answer any questions that folks may have.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if Roger or Farine have any questions for you. I'll start off with one.
Great.
So you are a nonprofit.
Yes.
How do you have a board of directors? How do you manage outcomes, or do you do reporting of any kind? What's that like?
So we're a very small nonprofit. I have an advisory board, which is largely consists of educators and artists and administrators, people who have experience in running businesses and working in the nonprofit sector, as well as people who work actively in the arts industry and people that work actively in the education industry. Obviously, I am one of all three of those, and several of the people on my advisory board are kind of all three as well, because the arts community in the Bay Area is largely nonprofit. Most of us have experience in nonprofit administration. So my board tends to help guide ideas for fundraising and help planning the fiscal year and things like that. And also, as a smaller nonprofit, we have a fiscal sponsor. So our fiscal sponsor is Intersection for the Arts, which is a very well-established nonprofit in the Bay Area. They're in San Francisco. They were founded, I believe, in 1965. So Intersection helps with tax reporting and things like that. So that alleviates a lot of my workload, thankfully, and keeps us running pretty lean, which is nice. And as far as educational outcomes go, we tend to use an evaluation tool and qualitative methods as well. So we will have a survey tool that we use at the end of residencies and the ends of camps and after school classes to kind of gauge what was absorbed from the learning objectives. And it's low pressure for the students as much as possible. It's more about making sure that the objectives and the lesson plans are being addressed, because all of our lesson plans and all of our curriculum is completely standards based. We use both the California Visual and Performing Arts standards for theater and the Common Core English Language Arts standards. So our evaluations are they don't read like tests. It's more about like, there's a little bit of terminology on one side, and then on the other side, we ask them to write more in sentences about what they liked about the program and what they would change about it if they could. And so we get some pretty cute kid quotes as well. But that's usually how we gauge that success. And then I usually do site visits to gauge engagement from the teachers and from the principal, and make sure that the teaching artists that I have out in our schools are doing the best that they can do and working well with our community.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, Farine.
Well, first off, thank you so much for your presentation. I really enjoyed it. The pictures are so sweet. I really love them. Oh, they're so cute. I was wondering, have you heard of UC Berkeley's Theater for Charity program?
No, I have not.
Well, if I may, so when I was an undergrad, I wasn't a part of it, but there's this group on campus called Theater for Charity where they would put on performances, and all of the money that they received would be donated to an organization.
Cool.
And while I'm hearing your story, I was like, oh my God, what a perfect group to be partnered with, especially because it's Berkeley, right? So like, you're so close, and I think that's right. It's so close. So, and they're looking for, they're always every semester looking for, organizations to sponsor, right, to give their money to, and so I can send you that information, but they give a couple thousand to the group. I mean, they make a lot of money, right, for just like doing a theater performance, and so I feel like how wonderful would it be for your group and the kids to work with UC Berkeley Theater for Charity students. I think that would be so wonderful. So that's all. I just wanted to throw that out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One of my teaching artists is a UC Berkeley alumnus, so I can ask her
Good.
to see if she knows what's up.
Yes, because I really think that would be a great partnership.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Roger, you have a question?
Yeah. In our school district in Kamloops, BC, we have one school which is designated for arts and drama at the intermediate middle school age. One of the things that I will agree with you on in regards to a student's accelerated performance in school is tied to a number of things. Number one is in terms of arts and drama. Number two is in regards to sports. And number three isn't tied up in terms of music. And number four is tied up into a student from the rural areas who gets a lot of responsibilities from their parents. They tend to be very, it seems to raise them up on the academic level. And I really support your type of program because those are very important, because it's the culture is based upon art and drama. It's also based on music, and these types of things have to be encouraged. And they've gone all the way back from Greece and through our heritage. And they should be accented. And it's the same with reading things like poetry and our literature. Mm-hmm. And it's to accelerate children in order to be able to perform better in terms of what they're doing in terms of their schoolwork. And I want to thank you very much for your presentation and what you are doing as a nonprofit. One of the things that a program that I'm looking forward to is ultimately I'm hoping to have a lady come on who is looking at how to develop startups, whether it be in business or in the nonprofit. And you might be interested in that program. And you may even be interested in becoming a member of our club.
Who's to say?
Good job, Roger.
And thank you very, very much for your presentation.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
So I wanted to ask one quick question before we wrap up. You also do summer camps, correct?
Yes.
You have other opportunities for kids to get involved.
Yes. So we, the heart and soul of what we do is in schools and in the classrooms, because that's where you get the kids that may not know that they want to be involved in the arts and involved in theater. But for kids that do know they want to be a part of the arts community at Quinan St Project. So below me, downstairs, is our studio space.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And at our studio space, we do after-school workshops. We currently have one on Fridays. Usually our after-school classes are Fridays, 3:30 to 5. And right now we have one where we have 5 very sweet little girls who are going to be writing their own play with their Cal alum teaching artist. And so we have after-school classes. And then in the summertime, we usually do 6 weeks of summer camp. So WCC USD, I think, ends, it's usually around June, let me double check. I think it's June 7th, something like that. So yeah, the last day of school for WCC USD is June 7th. So our first camp will be June 10th, and there will be 3 2-week sessions. So we'll have June 10th through 21st, and then the second session is going to be kind of truncated because 4th of July is on a Thursday this year, and I don't think anybody's going to want to come back to camp on a Friday after 4th of July, so we're going to end on the 3rd for that session. And then our last session will be July 8th through 19th. And those are all, one thing I'm really proud of with our summer camps is that our first camp of the summer is full day, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., but the other 2 camps offer half-day sessions. So if a family is, if their kid is nervous or they want to just try it, they can just do a half-day and do either a morning or afternoon session. Or if they're all in, they can do the whole day. And so there's options for families that are maybe just want to try it out and maybe kind of check it out before they're sure. Or maybe sometimes there's swim team practice and they can't do the whole day. So that's something kind of unique to our program that we offer. And if you do the whole day, you get a nice trip to Fernandez Park with your fellow campers and and have a nice time. So I love summer camp. It's one of my favorite parts of the year.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
I did also want to mention something that you and I had talked about, is that there is the chance for class sponsorships.
Yes.
So we might look at the mini grants opportunities for that, but anybody interested in donating has that opportunity.
Yes.
So have anything else? I'm a little concerned about the time, but I think we're doing okay. Any other questions from the other? Nope. All right. So we want to encourage everyone who's enjoyed this program to let us know what you think. Below on the website, you'll find our Discus tool for sharing and responding to comments. Please take a moment to add to the conversation. Members and Rotarian guests, please be sure you fill out the attendance section. It helps us know about the reach of our efforts and also serves as a makeup tool for any missed meetings. So if you put your email address properly below, you'll get a message that you can pass along to your club secretary. As always, we like to give the final word to our speaker. So Anna, is there anything else you want to be sure we all know?
I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to share what I do with you all. And I am happy to meet everyone I met today. And just thank you so much.
Well, great. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week.